Yo, what's up guys? So I am in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right now. I'm standing in front of my tattoo artist tattoo studio called Body Works. I've been getting tattooed by the owner of the studio. His name's Don McDonald. I've been getting work done by him since 2004, 2005 time era. And I'm here today to get some work done on a piece that we started last winter. So I'm gonna do a little bike interview with him today, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Grab some things, walk inside.
Yeah!
There he is. All right, so this is Don's studio. Here's some of his artwork. It's usually closed on Sundays, I believe. So it's a little dark in here right now, but Don was able to fit me in, so we're doing it. What up?
Nothing. How you doing?
Good.
Great to see you, man. Great to see you. You look awesome as always.
This is probably the best part about getting tattooed here is Don loves to eat as much as I do. It's from a barbecue place he's stoked on. This is pulled pork over mac and cheese, so I'm really excited about that. And then we'll just eat on top of all of his awards. All right, guys, we are in Don McDonald's tattoo studio. This is Don behind me. He's currently tattooing me. Don, so tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you live. If you want to disclose how old you are, you're more than welcome. And just tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
All right. Well, my name's Don McDonald. I'm 51 years old. I'm originally from Rochester, New York. And I've been living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for, I think, 33 years. And started tattooing when I was 22. So I got about 30 years in the business.
And you own this shop?
Yes, this shop was started by Robert Moose Rudder, and he passed in 1997. So I had about 4 years experience at that time. Got to work with Moose for about 3 years, and when he passed, I took over the business and kept it going all these years. I have a couple other artists here, Steve Morris and Jim Birch. And there's a microblading artist here, her name is Deb. So yeah, shop's been maintaining through all these years. It's a lot of fun. I love it every day.
Awesome. So you and I have been working together for quite a long time. I think I narrowed it down to 2004, 2005 because I graduated high school in 2004. And I think you started tattooing me right after I got out of high school. So I kind of found you through mutual BMX friends that own Section 8 skate park in Youngstown, Ohio. What's your deal with tattooing BMX riders? You kind of have a little bit of a clientele from our kind of rider.
You know, if I had to narrow it down, I think when I started tattooing Jason Stig, from Push back in the day.
Yep, Stig's like one of the original dudes from Push Trails back in Pittsburgh.
Yep, he's the one that created those trails, and I didn't even know much about his significance in BMX at the time. I just knew he was pretty big in it, and that was cool. I mean, I used to race as a kid, and we always had tracks and trails growing up. I was always riding BMX. We even started building some quarter pipes, and we had a half pipe in the 80s. And
you also skate too, right?
Yeah, so everybody growing up had a BMX bike, and we had a big group of guys always riding, and some of the funnest times growing up for sure. That led into skating. I think when I was 14 I started skating, and that just took off for me. That was my life, till I was about 20 years old.
Awesome. Yeah, so you've tattooed Jason Stig from Push, and then Steve Luckett and BJ Gritza from Section 8, and that's how I came across your work and ended up in the shop from 2004 till present now, 2022. And then you tattoo my brother a bunch, Ronnie Napolitan. Are there any other BMX riders that you tattoo, or is that pretty much it for right now?
There's a couple guys that I've worked on locally who used to race,
Okay.
pretty high level, at least up to expert level. And there's a bunch of kids that used to ride trails around the Monroeville area. And so, yeah, nobody that's really, kind of well known, on you and Ronnie's level or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, just tattooing Jason Stig, watching him go ride Section 8, and then you guys all started coming. It's really interesting how, the domino effect happens like that. It's like you tattoo somebody and they're a traveling gallery show for the rest of their life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's cool.
Let's talk about your tattoo machine a little bit. So maybe the viewers think we're faking it right now because you can't hear that like annoying noise the whole time. What do you got going on over there? You don't have a cord on there. It's just like this tube.
Yeah, so these battery-powered machines, I've been hearing a lot about them. A lot of the younger tattoo artists that I work on been telling me how much they like them, and I'm honestly a little slow to the technology game. Traditionally, I just like my stuff I've been using forever. So I was lucky enough to try one of these machines last year when I was out at Guy Aitchison's studio, and he had a couple of them, and I was like, well, I might as well give it a shot while I have the opportunity to. And it's pretty nice. No cord, battery powered. It saves a little bit of time, not trying to deal with the cord the whole appointment, and yeah, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's really nice. Really like it.
And this is day 2 of us being tattooed, so we talked basically all day yesterday. With the tattoo machine, it lasts for around 6 hours per battery, you said?
Yep, 6 or 7 hours. I got another battery on charge, so as soon as this battery burns out, there's a little light on here that starts to change colors when the battery's getting low, and yeah, it works out pretty good.
Yeah, and for all the people that don't know as well or have never been tattooed, the old school machines have a foot pedal. So you were telling me that you do kind of like a phantom foot pedal thing with your foot sometimes, right? Since
Yeah,
you switch.
especially for a few weeks when I was working, I'm just sitting here hitting my foot pedal and like, oh, that's embarrassing, but everyone forgives me for that. And yeah, it's crazy. I wouldn't think that, hitting a foot switch is that ingrained in my brain, but I guess 30 years of hitting the damn thing, it took a while to not do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so going back to Guy Aitchison, Guy is almost one of the most world-renowned tattoo artists in the game, I would say.
I would have to agree with you.
Tell us about your relationship with Guy, because I think that's a real special one. I remember coming into your tattoo studio, at the very beginning and seeing a lot of collaborations that you and Guy were doing, and I had always dreamed of getting a collab by the both of you, and then probably 5 years ago or something we accomplished that goal. Tell us a little bit about Guy and your relationship with him, and maybe how you guys feed off each other for tattoo progression, because you guys do work quite a few times on multiple clients a year, correct?
Yeah, we do. I've been going to visit Guy twice a year, probably for 25 years. I was lucky enough to meet him at a tattoo convention in '95, and got a small tattoo by him, and was on his waiting list for 2 years till we were able to get some more work done on me. Since that time, we've become pretty good friends. He definitely inspired me. His generation of tattooers inspired me to start tattooing. So the fact that I got to get to know him, become friends with him, has been awesome. And yeah, definitely, loved the biomech style and started doing collaborations probably in the early 2000s, and they've just never stopped. So a lot of fun. I learn a ton of stuff every time I work with him.
And for those of you that don't know how tattoo collaborations work, usually it's, you know, two different artists working on an area of the client. So in my case, we did a full arm sleeve. So these guys were both working at the same time for, we did like 2 days, and I think we did 8-hour days when I was out there. So, you know, collaborations can get pretty heavy.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I'm always amazed at how well people do sit for them. You know, you have two artists working on you at the same time all day long. That's a real challenge.
So speaking of biomech, can you kind of give everyone a like maybe your version or definition of what biomech or bioorganic tattooing is?
I guess the simplest way to describe it is the Alien movie from 1979. All the alien creatures and all the, you know, the set design was done by H.R. Giger from Switzerland, and that stuff is considered, you know, the style he created is called biomechanical. So once tattooing started to become very progressive, I started to see pieces in magazines. There was no internet at the time. This is, you know, early 90s. I started seeing a lot of tattoos done with, like, you know, bone shapes and repetitive bone textures and patterns, and it just looked super gnarly, super cool. And so basically you know, just the bone textures, and then that leads into everything else. When you start looking at the textures of, say, tree roots and, you know, rock formations, you can really start to see a lot of repetitive patterns and textures through all these different natural shapes. So that's kind of what the biomechanical art form is to me.
Awesome. Yeah, we were kind of talking yesterday just how it is difficult to describe, and I feel like you did a pretty good job right there.
Thanks. I was struggling a little bit. Anytime I'm asked that, I always give a different answer, you know, but it's all roughly around the same idea, you know, bones.
Bones. How do you feel, because I know you do, I mean, a lot of my tattoos are actually more on the bioorganic side. What was it like, you know, doing just raw biomech for many years? Who may have been the first guy to kind of take organic textures and turn it into that kind of bioorganic style?
I would say that Guy Aitchison and Aaron Kane were the two earliest tattooers that I saw that were creating this type of tattoo style. So,
and what made you want to do? Was something that you were like, oh, I'll give that a shot, or did you have a client come in and be like, hey, I want something like this? Like, how did you get turned on to doing a lot of bioorganic stuff?
The funny thing, I wasn't even tattooing yet. You know, I was an artist. I was working in commercial art for a couple years, and I was looking at tattoo magazines always. I was always fascinated by them. And then literally one issue had, I think it was Skin Art issue number 9, had a bunch of work from Aaron and Guy, and I remember seeing it, and it stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, this is what I am going to do. This is me. This is amazing. I want to do this. So that's how it happened. I mean, I remember the day it happened. You know, I was visiting friends in Seattle, and one of them worked at a magazine shop, and he just had a bunch of magazines that were expired. And I was like, what the hell is this stuff? You know, he's like, oh yeah, that's this guy, Guy Aitchison, and Aaron Kane. I'm like, that's me. I know what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
So it just grabbed you instantly.
Yeah. So I was drawing it early on, and then, you know, I ended up started tattooing those kinds of designs early on. the drawings were good, but the tattoos weren't, I didn't know how to tattoo, so, I was struggling with that. But I've drawn it, since day one, when I was tattooing. And, even before I started tattooing, when you looked at a lot of skateboard art, there's always like cool skulls and cool stuff like that. So I had always gravitated towards that, that bone style and, skulls and that kind of subject matter.
Nice. Speaking of you being an artist, you have a ton of paintings that you've done, over your career, scattered throughout the studio here. Man, I don't even know what I'm gonna ask, but the paintings are dope. Basically, I've bought so many paintings from you. Do you get to do paintings very often?
I really don't. If I do one a year, that's probably a lot, just because the tattoo schedule is so busy. But I mean, I love to paint. I love it as much as I love tattooing. I've just kind of made the decision that since there's so many people right now that want to get tattooed, I'm just going to stay with that. But hopefully, as time goes on, maybe I'll be able to put a little more time into painting.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of 3D modeling too as well. I know you have the one out in the front that you and Guy did, and it has lights and it lights up and it shows you, all where the light sources go and the contrast and the depth of it. Do you get to do any 3D modeling, or you got any gigs coming up with it?
Very little 3D modeling. A lot of that was probably started from Guy, as far as being in the tattoo community. He started building models for reference for tattoo projects and paintings. I do like to do those types of sculptures, but I just don't get the opportunity time-wise. I do have a commission, hopefully, coming up of a painting that's going to have some three-dimensional effects, built onto the canvas itself. So that should be fun.
Awesome. Very cool. So one of the cool experiences that I was able to share with you is the Tattoo Prodigies #2 book. We did my first arm sleeve, which is on my left arm, and we did that kind of bio-organic underwater coral reef style work. And, you randomly surprised me and said that photo was going to be published in a book. Do you want to tell me about that, and then maybe kind of talk about the importance of a lot of these artists dropping their own books and kind of spreading the tattoo word?
Absolutely. The Tattoo Prodigies books, there's 2 volumes, 1 and 2. They were created by Mike DeVries, very successful tattooist on the West Coast. And he basically just gathered up the artists that he was aware of at the time, and I think pretty much all over the world, and put a page of every top artist he knew in this book. And the significance is these are the first books of their kind. The Tattoo Prodigies, I think, is one of the first books that got that many tattooers all in one book. That were what he considered to be some of the the top artists.
And they're really big books. Like, how many tattooers would you say that book is? Like,
there's a couple hundred pages.
Yeah, I think yours is on like 260
exactly
range. So it's a huge book.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot imagine the time he had invested in that project, putting all that together. And we're fortunate that people like him do that. Guy put out the Tattoo Encyclopedia, the Biomech Encyclopedia, as well as a bunch of other books over the years. And these, like I said, they're the first of their kind. I mean, sometimes you'll see a book on tattoos at a bookstore, but it's just, I think, like a general, overall type of collection, whereas I think the books that are done by the artists, some of the best artists in the business really give you the best look at, tattooing at that time.
Yeah, and you guys still have a lot of magazines as well, as to where BMX, there are really I don't think there's any magazines left in BMX.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Damn.
you guys still have like a really solid print platform to stand on.
That's interesting. You had even asked me the other day about a magazine that you were aware of, and sometimes some of these magazines people tell me about, I don't know what they are. So there has been, maybe just the popularity of tattooing, there has been more magazines coming out, and they're not the standard magazines that have been around for years. So it really is amazing.
Nice. I know I've been in this table and in this chair many, many times for many, many years. We've talked about some funny moments that you've had in here where, whether it's someone's first time getting a tattoo or whatever the case may be. Do you have any funny stories that you'd like to tell from people being in the chair, whether it's like maybe passing out or whatever,
There's definitely been some pass out victims over the years, maybe one or two vomiters. I knock on wood, man, I've been really lucky. Never had anybody, pass out that just doesn't wake up and needs medical attention. But I think when you have more of like a walk-in business and you're doing that type of work, you get a little more variety of stuff like that happens. Nowadays, I seem to just get people like you that can sit all day long and you're still smiling at the end of the day.
Perfect. And for as far as the shop goes too, you guys don't really get too many walk-ins. Everyone that has a station here in the shop is pretty much doing larger scale tattoos. Is that right?
Yeah, it seems that definitely true for this shop. It's become an appointment-only shop, but a lot of shops I think are following that type of design. This shop is not in a large foot traffic area, which I like. I like that it's kind of tucked away and you have to really go out of your way to get here. So yeah, I'm kind of thankful that it's not a walk-in shop, and being as how a lot of the projects we're doing are large scale, these types of projects need planned and drawn. So yeah, no real walk-ins here.
What's like your week usually look like? I know you tattoo, 5 days a week, so you've got new clients, old clients, you have to do new drawings constantly. Kind of how does your work week flow?
So I work Tuesday through Saturday, 5 days a week. I do 2 3-hour appointments, or I'll do 1 6-hour appointment. And yeah, it's a mix of existing work, new work. I probably start, I would say, 1 new project a week, sometimes 2 or 3 new projects a week. But if somebody calls me today and wants to start a new project, I will probably be able to start it in the end of August, beginning of September. So that's kind of how I have things laid out, is I'll just find the next available time to draw something new, because between now and September I have to draw 1 to 2 new pieces a week. So that's why there's such a long wait.
So your appointment books are usually 6 to 7 months out?
It seems it's been that way for a while, yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see here. All right, so a while back I had the opportunity, tattooing has become such a big part of my life. Really just sitting in your chair and having you tattoo me has become such a big part of my life. But I had the opportunity with Colony Bikes to have my own signature bar probably 5 to 6 years ago. And I wanted to call them the biomech bar. And I had you design the sticker for it that got printed and put on all the handlebars that were sold. I was super stoked to have you do that. Was that has anyone, have you ever done skate decks in the past, or is that something new that you got to do? And how'd that go down? Was it cool? Cool
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah, so occasionally an opportunity will come along similar to you with the handlebar design, and it's definitely something I can't turn down despite how busy I am. It's just too cool of a project. So as far as some of the skateboard decks I've been able to paint, that was occasionally maybe a tattooist will have an art show where it's going to be all skateboards. So when something like that comes my way, I'm like, oh, looks like I'm painting a skateboard. And same thing with your handlebar. When you contacted me about creating the sticker design, there's no way I could turn that down. That's too cool.
So was the sticker design for my handlebars kind of the first thing for you that I don't want to say it went big, but it was like printed in a factory and put on handlebars and packaged and shipped to dealers? And was that maybe one of the first times that you got to do something like that?
I think since you just worded it that way, and I never really thought about it on that level. Yeah, I guess so. That bar was distributed pretty. What was it, all over the world?
Yeah, all over the world. Yeah, wherever Colony Bikes product is sold.
Wow. Yeah. So that's just a really cool, opportunity that you brought to me, and I think that's exciting. So.
I was stoked that you were able to do it, so thank you again for that one.
Absolutely.
Something that gets to hang on your wall here in the shop forever, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
All right, so what is there anything else you'd like to add? I'm kind of wondering what do you think is in the future for Don McDonald,
Well, I'm going to try to tattoo as long as I can. I don't have any plans of retiring, so for me it's just try to keep my body healthy and in the best shape I can, and hopefully keep the career going and keep producing work at a high level and not get any worse. I think that's the goal.
All right, I'm glad you mentioned keeping your body healthy, because I've always actually found this very interesting and responsible on your end for your career, which I never really thought much into, but you do go to great lengths to stay healthy. You would think just sitting in a chair and holding that gun all day holding that machine all day would be not so terrible on your body, but it really is. So what do you do to preventative measures, keep yourself healthy, that kind of wheelhouse?
And that's true. Sitting for a living, you wouldn't believe the amount of things that can go wrong with your body. I've been going to a chiropractor once a month for the last 25 years.
Nice.
Work out a few days a week, stretch every morning, stretch every night. I had a client who was a yoga instructor, so I learned some yoga years ago, and I'm not good at it, but it's enough to stretch me out in ways that I wasn't used to, stretching, just to help my hands, my back. As you know, I ride bicycles, mainly road bicycles at this time, so I put a lot of miles on that, and I just like to be healthy. Diet, I'm really careful about what I eat. Try to stay as healthy as I can that way, but I enjoy it. I enjoy being fit, and it takes a lot of work. This career would not be possible this long without taking care of myself like that. There's no way.
Absolutely. And supplement wise, because I know that machine is just vibrating all the joints in your hand and fingers and wrists and all the way up your elbow to your shoulder probably. What are you doing to just maintain all that?
I've started getting monthly massages, to, you'd be surprised how many things get locked up, and my hand pain ends up, being caused by my middle of my back. So the more stuff I learn about my body, the more I'm able to, try to overcome whatever it is that I can to
Absolutely.
keep myself going. Those copper fit gloves, I put those on every night, like say the last hour of the evening, if I'm trying to wind down, watching a little television or something. I'll put those on, and believe it or not, they relieve the pain in my hands. So yeah, anything I can do to help out. It's a full-time job, just trying to keep my body going.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Well, I feel your pain actually.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else that you want to add? Any shout outs to companies that are keeping the office stocked up with tattooing supplies or anything like that?
Yeah, Fusion Ink. Thank you so much for the ink. I've been using their ink for years, and it is the best. I'm liking this Hawk pen from Cheyenne is really nice. I still like my Neotap machines. I got plenty of old stock of tubes and needles, so I'll still be using those. But and we got a shout out to your mom for the Christmas cookies. That's kept us going.
That's right, Vic.
That's really, really awesome. So
awesome, man. Well, thanks for agreeing to do this little interview. I hope all the YouTube viewers enjoy it as much as I sit here enjoying being blasted by you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. I got like 4 more hours, so wish me luck, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Later.